Hello everyone and welcome to another Operation Market Garden mod Shoutcast. It's been a bit, but we have some new replays that have been uploaded to the OMG Mod Discord. Some of them look pretty good, some not so good, but this one I have been told is one worth checking out for sure. I have not seen it. I have no idea what happens, but the teams look really solid, so I'm sure we're in for one worth watching. And so let's kick things off. And we'll kind of start, as we always do, taking a look at the players as they come on the field and getting a feel for what kind of companies we might expect from them. So we're going to start up here in the top left. We've got UKPowerMax running Axis. He's running a Warmax company, and I'm not too familiar with his build, but right off the bat, I think this is a really risky strategy of a sniper right out of the gate. So we'll see if he can manage to keep that sniper alive. He is very good at microing a sniper and getting its value back over the course of a game, but it's always risky to kind of bring one out right at the start. Looks like Stormtrout is also starting with sniper right out of the gate, so the Axis are feeling pretty confident, and hopefully that doesn't come back to bite them in the ass too hard. And then we've got the third Axis, Icki, running tank hunters, I imagine, but we'll see. Down on the Allied side, we've got Skaffa with some Crocs, and what else has he got going on? ATG, some support weapons, looks like maybe some mines. We've got Unknown / TheOneHandedMan running pretty standard armored company, probably has his Calliope. And then over here on the left we've got Area with his signature scouting jeep, some quads. So right off the bat, there's not a whole lot that the Allies have that can deal with two snipers, but one of the tricky things about a persistence mod, particularly one like OMG, is yes, you might get some early kills with a sniper, but your enemy probably has 3 different anti-sniper call-ins that have not been killed, have not been depleted yet, so they're probably expecting that at some point in the next 15-20 minutes there's going to be a bike rush, counter sniper, bikes and jeeps and quads. Obviously the Allies don't have any bikes, so yeah, this is a bold kind of opening gambit from the Allies. So far the Axis have moved comfortably in to take the middle town. The Allies are kind of working the periphery. Icki's kind of leaving a lot of his units idle. So I think that'll put a little bit of pressure on the Axis. Really risky position for Stormtrout's sniper. He's going to need to be a little more careful than that, but luckily he gets away. In terms of teams, I think the Axis have the edge here. UKPowerMax and Stormtrout are really solid Axis players. Icki is pretty reliable most of the time. Skaffa is probably the most competent player in the mod, but he's gonna be fighting against 2 really solid players that are no joke, so it's gonna be tough. So Stormtrout's sniper has not yet gotten any kills. He's going to need to be really careful with it. Same with UKPowerMax's. They seem almost hesitant to use their snipers, and considering that at this point in the game you only have 25 pop to work with, the fact that the Axis have 14 pop tied up in snipers that aren't killing anything, that's a bit of a concern. That basically means if they have 75 pop total between the 3 Axis players, like a fifth of it, or nearly a fifth of it, is just being sunk. So risk and reward. You bring a sniper out early, you're taking a risk, but not only that it'll die, but also that you need to make sure it's contributing. And right now, oh no, this could be bad. Skaffa's seen the sniper. He has a good idea. Oh, yeah. Okay. So that's not what you want. But it's one of the risks of starting with a sniper this early. UKPowerMax loses it with maybe 1 kill to its name. And you almost lost the sniper from Stormtrout as well. And it's almost never worth it to bring a sniper out that early. Unless you're playing really bad players, good players are going to use the pop advantage that their team will have. A sniper is a really good kind of like scalpel unit. You know, it can, when you've got a good front line, you have a good base of allied support, the sniper can pick away at the enemy and help you clear an ATG before a big push, or take out that MG that's suppressing you or your allies' infantry. But this early on, you just have so few resources that if a croc comes in and pushes with support from its teammates, it can do what you just saw. Again, I'm not sure that I would say bringing in a sniper in your starting call-in is top tier play, and I definitely wouldn't say that in a 3v3 2 people should try it. Again, unless you know that the team you're facing is significantly less capable than yours, that's a bold maneuver. It's almost like a little bit of disrespect. You know, it's a hard flex to start with 2 snipers in a 3v3, and well, in this case it was a costly one. But at least I was about to say, oh yeah, okay, there we go. Stormtrout's sniper is still alive, so all is not lost. It's a big blow to lose one, but the other is still alive. Not sure what this pack is doing. Okay, looks like it's going to survive. Okay, so the allies are a bit kind of disheveled right now. Other than Skaffa killing that sniper, they don't really seem to have a whole lot going on. This is no good. Area's got 2 quads kind of sitting back here being repaired. So whole sections of the map are kind of up for grabs. And yeah, the Axis still have the momentum. And it's not the best. But the game is young, so you know you can't really lose a game of OMG in the first 7 minutes. So while the Allies are on the back foot and kind of need to get some things going, they're far from out of this. I don't think this replay would have been uploaded if it ends here. So we'll kind of see how the Allies can regroup. A really important thing, I think, whenever you're on a team and things start to go bad like this, is to not just keep throwing good units after bad, and kind of sending yourself in piecemeal, thinking, oh no, we're losing territory, quick, as soon as units come on, send them to the front and try to get something going. That can tend to just keep causing you to lose ground and lose your units. So it's better to regroup, collect yourselves, get combined arms set up, get some ATGs, get some light vehicles, get some infantry, and then try to make a push. Whether that's where the enemy is strong, or as is often the case when you want to come back in a game, push where the enemy is weak, which it looks like at least some of the Allies are up to. But one kind of worrying trend is a lot of stuff just kind of having little siestas here and there, which you don't want. Cool. So yeah, it looks like the Allies are going to be pushing over here to the left side. The Axis kind of know there's not much point pushing further. You really don't want to be fighting your enemy in such easy reach of their spawn, because obviously as new units come in, they can replenish. Oh wow, is this another sniper? Oh no, it's the same one. Okay. Oof. For a second there I got worried. Looks like the colors have flipped though. So yeah, now Stormtrout is working on getting some kills for his sniper. It's at 6 kills, but keep in mind that thing's been on for 8 or 9 minutes now, so you have to wonder if maybe that 7 pop would have been better spent elsewhere. But it is alive, which, you know, is really important. And, you know, if this thing keeps going, it can probably rack up a ton of kills before the game's over. The Allies are still in disarray. Just really nothing going on for them. These quads that have just kind of been around for a while, they have 9 kills between them, so not terrible, but I think what the Allies are really missing right now is enough infantry backed up by support weapons to really push somewhere and to gain a front line. Their triage is vulnerable. These support weapons are vulnerable. Yeah. And even where the Allies are pushing, they're not really pushing with a ton of units. They seem almost cautious. And that could be the sniper, which, the sniper better be really careful. Even though this MG's not shooting at it specifically, it could get suppressed here. And the fact that there's no AT other than this pack means that a quad bike push could prove really troublesome. Yeah, you need to be careful. But looks like Stormtrout's kind of sensing danger. He's going to pull back. He's going to regroup. Smart move. I think probably his allies, though, are being a little complacent. Like, you look around the map, and there's probably too many bunkers on the field to begin with. There's this Panther term or Panther term. What is that doing here? Why? Well, I guess if anyone ever mounts an assault on this house, that turret will have something to say about it. Yeah, I'm not sure about that choice. Yeah, I think the Axis could be doing more to solidify their position here, a little further up. These bunkers, this MG bunker, repair bunker, like that's a repair bunker for what? For this Ostwind? The Martyr? I think it might be too soon. You know, you got 30 pop to work with, and right now the only real units other than those bunkers that UKPowerMax has on is a one-man MG, an Ostwind, and a KCH squad. So I think, you know, in an ideal world, maybe a few less bunkers when you only have 30 pop. But again, I mean, it's working out for the Axis so far. They are clearly they clearly have the initiative. So, you know, maybe there's something to the strategy. Back to the Allied side, though, chaos, disarray, just nothing kind of going on yet. With the Allies, you kind of hope to win on attrition, knowing that if you can trade even at a 0.5 to 1 ratio with an Axis enemy, you're probably still going to have units left when he runs out because his units are so much more expensive. But I wouldn't say right now we could comfortably call the rate at which the Allies are trading to be that. Hey, look, the Panther term is getting in the game. What's the range on this thing? The standard Panther range, maybe? Getting a little bit of an opening here to maybe push. Stormtrout's sending in some infantry backed up by Icki, but these packs getting kind of given away for free, that could really come back to haunt the Allies. Nice little crush here from this Croc. This Croc is doing work. Even bounces a Martyr shell for good measure. Now the Axis are going to have a shortage of AT. This Hetzer's not going to do too much to a Croc. Oh, are they going to lose this? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh. Okay, the captain's dead, but I think this sniper is boned. Yeah, and it's gone. So 17 kills on that sniper. Not terrible, but you definitely hope to get more out of it. And that basically means that the Axis have gotten, what, 18 kills combined between two snipers that started the game. So that sniper gambit, I don't know if it was pre-planned or if it was an accident, but it was bad. It was a disaster. And now the Allies are going to be happy to pick up these free packs. This one should probably get picked up instead of destroyed. I would argue it's worth more than this 57mm. Take it back to the triage. You can heal the gun, but Area's going to destroy it. Well, better destroy it than not. And yeah, the Axis have had kind of the upper hand, but they've thrown away some expensive units. Like, you know, those snipers coming on in 5-10 minutes could have done a lot. One thing that's kind of nice, though, is it is nice to see the Axis kind of using some unexpected but neat little tactics like tank traps, mines, bunkers, Panther terms, even though I would argue this thing has not earned its cost and has no hope to. These are units you don't get to see a lot, especially in the current meta, which favors large infantry and support weapon concentrations and aggressive kind of flanking. So it's nice to see use of some unconventional tactics and units and abilities. Neat. But now I think another Panther term. This one doesn't have the best firing arc, so I don't know if this is the right place to put it. You can kind of shoot things here, you can kind of shoot things there. Maybe if they shoot down this hedge, it'll have good line of sight, but I mean, they're just so easy to ATG creep, especially in a part of the map that's that exposed. Well, we'll see. But yeah, I think the Axis are starting to struggle a little bit, though. They've got some infantry presence now. This Hetzer's got support from these Shreks, but the Allies just have a lot of ATGs on the field, and I don't think the Axis really have much to counter it. This mortar half-track could help. Some snipers would be nice. Mortar half-track nailed one of the ATGs here. Nice move from Icki. So yeah, I think it's going to be hard for the Axis, because they've got so much pop tied up in things that can't really directly contribute. Repair bunkers, healing half-tracks, MG bunkers, medic bunkers. Yeah, last one's doing nice work from UKPowerMax. And they do still control the center, but AT is lacking. Shreks are all well and good, but the fact that the Allies have multiple Shermans on is going to be a bit of a problem. Ares actually been doing nice work with this quad as well. Harassing, being a general pain, keeping nice sight lines. One thing that Area is really quite good at is he uses jeeps well, and a lot can be said for a player that maybe they don't have the greatest micro in the world, but they have a really good kind of ability to use jeeps to give line of sight so they know what the enemy's doing and when to move and when to move out. So it's kind of nice. We'll see. We'll probably see more jeeps come from him shortly. He rarely does not have a jeep on in the early mid game. Allies have kind of clawed their way up the right flank, which is nice. They're no longer trapped down here. They did lose their triage at some point, though. I didn't see that happen. Probably got off-mapped, but could also have been Shrek'd or something. That hurts, and especially if they don't have another one of them still to come. And yeah, the fact that the Allies have kind of crept into this space and set up shop, that's going to be hard for the Axis to deal with. They don't really have a lot that can push right now. Shrek blobs are not going to do a whole lot for pushing. Hetzer's pretty reliable at sniping infantry, surprisingly reliable at sniping infantry. Ostwind's a good unit for working the flanks, but again, they just don't have packs like the two they lost over here, to deal with even just one Sherman. This thing can kite those Shreks pretty comfortably, unless it gets unlucky with RNG. No, and they can't support with the Ostwind because the Allies have a pack. And I don't know about having 8 pop of Pioneers running around, especially when I think these bulldozer Shermans can just run over tank traps, or maybe they can't. I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, Skaffa's getting awesome value out of this thing. Icki's mortar half track did get that one ATG, but it's kind of been failing to get much going in the meantime. And Area's just continuing to kind of keep a presence up here, keep the Axis from getting done what they want to get done. I like these mines from Stormtrout though. I think he's trying to bait this ATG up over at least one of them. Riflemen will take it instead, but pretty neat. You don't get to see a lot of mines. Good move from UKPowerMax here is catching Skaffa's half tracks. They're not a huge concern. One of them does have a squad in it. Actually, it looks like maybe both of them do. Guess the gunner was killed on that one. But yeah, I just it feels like the Axis don't have enough to push at the moment. 2 MGs are kind of leading the charge for the Axis over here. You don't see that every day. New definition of assault infantry. And it's kind of been Shermans that have been causing, I think, the Axis the most trouble. And I don't know whether they have more packs sitting in reserve, or if they're saving them for a rainy day, or maybe they're just out of packs altogether, other than this one here from Stormtrout. But I think they need an answer to these medium tanks. Surprisingly, this Panther term is still here. I don't know if it's got any kills or anything, but it is providing some kind of force projection that's keeping this crossroads at least under Axis control for the moment. And yeah, actually, pretty nice job from the Axis to kind of stave off that assault. Looks like the Allies are regrouping and going to head back over to the right. So good coordination from the Allies to kind of figure out when the enemy is kind of too entrenched in a certain place and to position elsewhere. And yeah, like I said before, the Axis don't really have a whole lot of AT. These 2 Shreks are something, but picking off an MHT, a mortar half-track, is a pretty good snag for that Sherman, especially since it was harassing their ATGs. This Croc is proving that it can deliver value even when it has no HP left. It goes down like a champ. Rip, hero Croc. You did your job. And I don't think a Neuville is the right solution. Well, actually, you know what? Maybe it could be. Maybe with all these ATGs that the Allies have, although one of them is in danger, maybe a Neuville can get something good done. I definitely think the Axis are struggling with this Shrek strategy, though, because as we're seeing, a Sherman, will die eventually to Shreks, like that Croc did over here, but in the meantime, they're forcing these Shreks to get exposed to MGs, to have to push, getting into situations like this. That's a pretty good trade, though. Good support from that pack. Ooh, costly though. Costly. Gonna have to go heal that group. And another Croc back from Skaffa. We'll see if this one can deliver the same results as the last. And nice job here from Stormtrout. He's really working the map to kind of get tank traps set up, drop down mines, close off areas of the map, make it a little bit more painful for the Allies to move at will, and that's probably a pretty good idea, especially with all these quads and Shermans and Sherman Crocs running around. Unknown's apparently unaware that Walking Wounded have a doctrine unlocked that gives them Fausts. Okay, and what's area bringing on? Looks like a howitzer and more rifles. It's a pretty even game so far. It hasn't seemed like anyone's run away with it or anything. I still think the Axis probably have the upper hand. They've maybe taken their foot off the gas a few too many times and built a few too many bunkers and put too much pop up in building tank traps and whatnot, but for the most part I think they've kind of controlled the most important parts of the map, and they've really forced the Allies to have to run from left to right. Not sure what Area is doing here. I feel like he should have taken that fight. Luckily Skaffa's come to help him with some rifles. I don't know why Area's running here. And doesn't look like Skaffa actually planned to help him at all. Skaffa's just passing. It's like, you guys are on your own, I'm out of here. Oh, now they get out. Okay. Yeah, so that was a bit of a weird choice from Area, because just running those rifles away meant that he took a lot of damage, that if he had just stayed and fought, he could have traded better. But he did lure them into this MG, so that's 2 Shreks lost for the Axis that they probably don't want to lose, and they, on top of that, have given one away to the enemy. So the Allies have kind of benefited from a lot of free AT graciously donated by the Axis in the form of packs and now a Shrek. I don't know if that's what they want to be doing. Pretty solid kills from this Sherman from Unknown. Definitely feels like the Allies are getting good value out of most of their tanks. And Shermans aren't really expensive either, so anytime you can get outsized benefit from them, that's obviously a plus. But yeah, it's starting to feel now like the Allies don't have anything to push with. All these engineers, I mean, how many rifle squads can we even count on the map right now? We've got 1 from Skaffa, these 2 heavily wounded ones from Area. Like, where is all this pop? It's tied up obviously in Shermans, and then okay, so Skaffa's got some infantry roving around half-tracks, but other than Skaffa, I feel like, what is Unknown's 30 out of 40? What the heck? Okay, so you've got like 18 pop or 17 pop or whatever tied up in a Sherman here. 2-man MG squad, a 1-man rifle squad. Okay, some more stuff coming on. Okay, good. Allies are going to need that. Because right now, there's not really much that Unknown or One-Handed Man can contribute here, so he needs to get in this game, I think. Over on the Axis side, let's take a look at what's happening. We've got more good work from the Sherman. It's going to run into E4, kind of undoing a little bit of the hard work of these pioneers to lay these tank traps. But he's actually in a bit of trouble though. There's no AT over there that can help him. But Stormtrout makes the right decision here. Yeah, and if you can see the entire map, we know there's no AT around here, but a good player will bet on the fact that there's probably an ATG or a tank that can actually harm him over here, and it's just not worth taking the risk. 9 times out of 10, that's a mistake for him to chase this croc, so I think he makes the right call by turning around and living to fight another day. Nice work from Skaffa using these manned half-tracks to cap. This one's got 2 anti-infantry squads in it. That's kind of a neat little tactic. The enemy sends infantry to find whatever's capping. You drive up with your half-track, you jump out. Surprise, surprise, there's 2 close quarters combat specialized infantry sitting inside. That would be a nasty surprise, especially if Icki makes the mistake of heading this way. He's gonna not be expecting this bang bus to show up with what's inside. Oh yeah, here we go. We're actually gonna get to see it happen. Surprise! Oh, Skaffa kind of sees that this light anti tank half track is showing up. That ruins things a little bit. But does he know this half track has guests? It's a clown car. Now, can these guns actually harm the light anti-tank half track? Maybe, maybe not. Well, this has been less impressive than I thought it was going to be. Let's just move on. Over here, the Axis are kind of getting swarmed. Yeah, they don't have the MGs they probably need to hold some of this back. One MG over here could have stopped all of this, but there's none to be found. The Shermans are kind of wreaking havoc up here. These riflemen getting some nice work done. Is anyone going to hit this mine? Maybe, no. And Stormtrout's just building away. These pioneers are unconcerned with the chaos and the bloodshed. Nice mine there from Stormtrout, especially with the pack set up right here. I mean, this pack's going to die, but maybe you can... No. So this Sherman might prove to be a kind of a big problem right here, because if he just backs up, there's really no AT that can help. This Panzer IV from Stormtrout could probably come up in support. But then again, there's also an ATG over here. So I mean, now the Axis kind of have got to be panicking a little bit, because you know, all this investment in bunkers and a Neuville, in tank traps, it's getting overrun. And with ATG to the left here, or sorry, on the right, supported by Shermans. Man, there's a lot of Shermans in this game. New Sherman meta, maybe? Oh, King Tiger, okay. So UKPowerMax is rolling out a King Tiger. That actually could be just what the Axis need, because there aren't a ton of ATGs on the field. There's just two here that I can see. And the rest of the Allies' kind of main strength is tied up in Shermans. And the KT will easily, comfortably handle those. So if the Axis can wipe out these two, maybe with a sniper, if anyone has another one available, then this KT could kind of run the table. Meanwhile, I wonder what UKPowerMax's plan is with this saboteur. He could take out the med tent, but I mean, it's not like that med tent's a huge issue. And yeah, I think the bigger question will be, can he get this KT in the game to kill some of these ATGs? You know, we're 32 minutes in, so the Allies will have significantly less AT to work with now than they did at the start. All the packs they picked up are long dead. That Shrek they grabbed is long gone. Two more ATGs coming in from Skaffa now. That definitely helps things. Actually, let's take a look at what the Allies have going on. So, Skaffa's got two ATGs. Area, what do you got going on? Got one ATG and an upgun Sherman. Okay, that's something. Stormtrout's just building away, busy as a beaver. One thing I would say though is I don't know if maybe this pop could be better used supporting the King Tiger. But you gotta give him credit, he's definitely managed to build a lot of stuff. Did an infantry snare mine, but that's not too much of an issue. What's Icki got going on? It's been a while since we've kind of looked in on him. He's running kind of all vehicles at the moment. Martyr, Hetzer, Berg Tiger, Medic half track. That's not ideal. And I think the biggest issue the Allies have, or sorry, the Axis have right now is ATGs that are hemming in the King Tiger. And so they need something, or they need some units that can kind of help clear up some of these ATGs, whether that's artillery, whether that's mass infantry, whether that's a sniper. And I don't think Icki's got the units to kind of project any map presence. So I think if he could go back in time and replay this one, he'd probably be keen to make sure he has a little bit more balance and more flexibility on the field, especially at this kind of critical moment. Yeah, I don't know if scout cars and Shreks and a Vampire half-track, yeah, it means now he has one squad of infantry out of 39 pop. This looks like an anti-sniper column, and I don't think now's the time for it. But again, like, nobody's running away with this game. KT is a major factor. Where did it go? How do you lose a KT? Oh, there it is. But I feel like you're gonna make a push, especially with something like a Hetzer. Hit from two places at once. I don't know what the KT can really comfortably achieve moving out this way. Oh, I did open up that hedge for Panzer term at least. Yeah, the ATG creep from the Allies is just something that these Axis units cannot deal with comfortably anyway. And I'm not sure I agree with the KT going out this way either. This thing moves slow. It's such an enormous pop train that you kind of need it to always be doing something, and there's just not enough over here to justify it. One or two squads of infantry could comfortably deal with everything that's over here. Even a upgun Puma could kind of take care of that. You don't need the KT for this. You got kind of bigger issues over here. Hopefully Icki's brought on more infantry. No, it doesn't look like it. I hope he's not out, because that's going to be bad news for the Allies if so. This tank should probably just be taken right off. Oh, we got another sniper from UKPowerMax. Okay, this is now, I would say, a great time for a sniper. Your biggest problem right now are ATGs, and the sniper is a great call. Yeah, that could be good. Especially since it seems like, yeah, the Allies don't have a ton of ATO in the field. One ATG. It's a Croc, that's a Sherman, that's not going to be an issue. There's an ATG to pick up there. There's one more coming in from unknown. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that sniper and that KT, if they push together now, I'm not sure what the Allies could really do. Gotta get that ATG out of the way. Snipe it, snipe it. Well, KT's gonna take some knocks here. Good snipe there to clear ATG number 1. Be careful of the sniper. Oh, that was close. Kind of neat to see this Sherman meta emerge in this game. The Shermans have definitely been putting in work. Well, there goes 2. But again, they're not super expensive, so you can kind of afford to lose them as long as they earn their keep along the way. This is kind of nice from Stormtrout. Obviously, Skaffa's build here relies heavily on half-tracks with infantry inside of them, and these tank traps stopped it. And then where there aren't tank traps, there's mines, so that's kind of neat. With that said, Skaffa's still kind of terrorizing their flanks, even with just small infantry squads. And that starts to hurt. Like, if you look at the top of the map here, or the screen, the Axis are losing 1 pop a minute. And they've been doing that for some time now, so they're now down to 37 out of 40. Doesn't seem like a lot, but unless they can get some map control back, they're really going to be feeling the decreased pop cap before too long. Back over on the Axis side, more Pioneers I don't know if that's what you need right now. You need to get your cap situation under control. Nice of Stormtrout to send a squad up here. UKPowerMax also trying to regain this flank. Oh, no. Back down here. But yeah, I would say the issue that I think the Axis have right now is lack of infantry. We've got a lot of tanks, a lot of vehicles. This Berg is eating up a lot of pop. These bunkers are tying up a lot of pop. This medic half-track's tying up pop. Panzergerm's tying up pop. And yeah, they don't have enough to really support this King Tiger with, you know, that sniper picking off some of these ATGs, with maybe one or two nice pushes of infantry. KT could run the show against a lot of what the Allies have on, but these three ATGs are an issue. And I just don't see anything that the Axis have on that's going to deal with them, let alone the infantry around them. Yeah, not the best. Looks like both sides are kind of taking a quick little breather. A little bit of action here on the left, but nothing kind of spectacular. One thing I have to give Area credit for is he's really kept the Axis tied up over here with not a whole lot of resources. You know, there've been some quads, there've been some rifles, there's been the odd Sherman, but think of how much focus. He's got two players that are kind of focused on killing this engineer squad and this rifle squad and this MG, and meanwhile that pop cap just keeps ticking down. And so I think the big issue for the Axis right now is you've got this KT on the field, you've got this sniper on the field. It's a lot of your firepower tied up in two units. Got to make something happen with these guys. Support them, surround them with infantry, with support weapons, clear the path for them to push. And that's not happening. And I think that's a problem. Also, what's kind of interesting is the amount of infantry that is being tied up just by this half-track sitting over here. And now there's a squad in it, but two full squads just kind of chilling. Yeah, what is the plan here, guys? How do we plan to take back the initiative? P4 is coming down to give Area a little more trouble. He just pulls away. I mean, what did he lose there? A rifle squad and an engineer squad? It's not the end of the world. Skaffa's going to make a move. There's no AT on this squad. This one is a threat to the half-track. Is he going to drop on in and say hello? Oh, he's got another one here too. Surprise! Looks like Icki might not notice. Stormtrout noticed, but the MG on the half-track is giving him a hard time. Good little flanking mover. I think that squad should have probably not lived. Hopefully he can pick it off with the half track here. Yeah, now the Axis have real problems because they have no infantry to deal with ATG creep at all. Nice little bunker placement from Stormtrout, but again, like if you build the bunker that far back, you're kind of you're kind of saying like, hey, like I expect my teammates are gonna get pushed back to here, and if you're fighting at this part of the map at 43 minutes in, it's not going well for your team. So I think maybe that population could be better used. I didn't actually see if the sniper died. Yeah, it just died right there in the bunker. Good little play from Skaffa. Yeah, unless the Axis bring on a lot of infantry very, very fast, they are in tons of trouble here. These bunkers are not helping them. All these tank traps are not really helping them. Didn't seem to trouble the Axis really at all. sorry, the Allies really at all. I think I saw one Sherman or half-track get funneled into a mine, but considering the main kind of crux of the battle was over here and the Allies comfortably won over here while the Axis were distracted, I don't know. I don't know about this bunker tank trap style, but again, it would probably be really good in 4v4, and maybe in another game it works out, another match with different teams it works out really nicely. But today, I think the mobility of Shermans, the harassment tactics of upgraded rifles in half-tracks running like a mechanized cap harassment strategy seems to have the upper hand. Ooh, a Pershing. Okay. Well, that P4 just ran into a mine. It looks like it's already suffered some significant attrition from repairing. Yeah, it's done for. More Pioneers from Stormtrout. I don't know. Is this what's going to turn things around? We'll see. It looks like a really interesting support company, though. One that maybe with a little more frontline infantry from the other Axis players could probably work out nicely, but I think Icki's also running a support company, and UKPowerMax is running a high kills, high value unit company, and no one, I think, on the Axis side was running a meat shield company. And it's really hard, I think, to win against Allies if none of your three teammates, or none of your two teammates, have brought in, you know, a lot of infantry and support weapons to kind of keep things from spiraling out of control. So yeah, a lot of support units from Icki and Stormtrout, but probably could have benefited from one of them bringing a lot more frontline resources. Right now, it kind of looks like the map's fairly even. The Axis kind of actually have more map control in terms of pop gain than the Allies, but in terms of units on the field and, you know, what they can do with them, I like what the Allies kind of have right now more. Seeing a little bit more infantry come on from the Axis, which is nice, but I think a lot of this probably could have come on sooner. Both sides seem like they're kind of just recouping for a moment. The Axis obviously want to heal up this King Tiger. He's done great work. UKPowerMax has got a lot of value out of him already. But that said, the Allies are also using this time to kind of regroup, bring in more AT, get their infantry set up. That saboteur just triggered a mine and wasn't phased at all by it. Looks like he's gonna bomb this medic station. That's cheeky. Oh, can he also kill the infantry? No. Someone cue the Benny Hill music. Oh, UKPowerMax I think was hoping they would follow him and then he could detonate it. But yeah, I feel like Area should probably either have seen that or been alerted to that to get his MG out of the house. Good value there on that saboteur though. Okay, we got another sniper from Stormtrout. I think we're probably seeing why both he and UKPowerMax started with one. That said, I don't know if I agree with throwing one away early just because you have a second one to call on later. Yeah. Nice shot from that Pershing. Decrews one man off the pack. Buys the Pershing a split second to get a bit further out. Sniper could prove to be a problem right now for the Allies. I mean, if the Allies weren't also kind of overrunning the flanks. Skaffa's roaming bands of guerrilla warriors are going to be a bit of a nuisance. I like this half-track mechanized infantry strat, although the mines I think are definitely going to be an issue. Ooh, can we get the sniper here? Wow. Died to splash damage. That was a nice little move. Didn't use jeeps, didn't use a counter sniper. Just some Banzai attack squads for within half tracks. Stormtrout's probably low because we see a lot of bikes coming on. It's all going to come down to this King Tiger. And can the allies... This Hetzer is way out of position though. If that thing were hitting from the side, maybe getting some rear shots on this Pershing, maybe sniping men off of the ATG, could be a totally different story. Yeah, this King Tiger is severely limited now without without an engine, now without a gun. Yeah, I think that's going to be it for the Axis now once this thing goes down. I think all of their hopes of victory, slim as they were, kind of depended on that thing being up and running. Okay, P4 to save the day maybe? No. Misses its shot on the ATG. Yeah, this Hetzer needs to get in the action. Especially when there's an ATG right there. Area gonna see it. Area. No. Oh, he wants that ATG. Okay. I mean, that one would have been better probably, but okay, that ATG. Yeah, that ATG is asleep at the wheel. I don't know what the Axis are doing now. I think they're kind of just shell shocked. They're not really moving. This P4 does not need to stay there. UKPowerMax just needs to get his gun back online. I don't know what the threshold is where you get the gun back. Maybe it's 10% or something. There goes the Hetzer. That Hetzer was probably a little too cautious when it needed to be a little more in the game. Yeah, it's going to come right down to it. The question is if that's an infantry snare mine or a real mine, because one shot there, especially from the KT, which now has its gun back, been nasty. But no, the Axis just don't have enough on the field anymore. They don't have what they need. Icki, I think, is down to just this single Shrek man, so he's keeping it well back, but yeah, I don't know where his company went. Probably far too late. Yeah, the Allies just have so much AT left on the field, and there's plenty more to pick up. Got more infantry coming. Yeah, I think area is down. Unknown is down to just his Pershing, but that's plenty for the moment. Needs to be careful of that KT. Area seems to have quite a bit left. Skaffa, I think, is down, unless we see more come from him shortly. But yeah, I just don't think the Axis have enough. Not enough. I don't know how much that MG bunker earned its costs back. Good MG creep from Skaffa here, working in tandem with the Croc. There goes the KT. It's over. It is over. So, I mean, it's not like the Allies have a ton left. It's not like this was an absolute rout or anything, but I think what was the downfall of the Axis here was running two support companies and then a company with high kill but high cost units like snipers and KTs and a Neuville, and that can be really, really effective, but you kind of need somebody to be running lots of infantry and lots of support weapons, because if you're not, you can just get ATG crapped, you can lose big chunks of the map, your pop can suffer, although I think the Axis did a nice job, especially UKPowerMax kind of regaining pop, especially in the late game, and while he does have a lot of infantry left now, his allies are done. So, you know, 2 snipers and a KT, that's basically putting a lot of burden on your teammates to do the dying, because somebody has to, right? Yeah, I just don't think I don't think the allies are going to feel the repercussions of their low map control too bad. OMG tends to have a pretty forgiving pop territory end of game countdown timer, and this is one of those situations where the Axis are probably wishing that it didn't, because they do have, you know, big chunks of the map capped. It is pretty late in the game. It's 55 minutes in, but yeah, this guerrilla resistance isn't going to go too far when the Allies have tons of infantry left and vehicles for spotting. Crocs, there's just no AT to be found that can deal with all of this. The Pershing is immobilized for the moment, but not for long. No. And the last kind of remnants are going to be hunted down. Will area realize that we can beat this guy in close range? Don't fight at long range. Okay, it was all a ruse. Clever girl. Pershing is still immobilized back there. Just rush in area. Just get in there. You win up close. Well, maybe another time. Yeah. This Sherman Croc, these Crocs have been MVPs, I think, so far in this game. Definitely wreaking havoc. 17 kills is really respectable. Platform that is not that expensive. The Pershing is gonna die, maybe? Or will it survive? Yeah, just go kill the Pershing. Don't even worry about the Croc. You're not gonna kill it. Wow, this Croc is even gonna save a life. Maybe. Although the Shrek might switch. Oh no, it won't. Wow, Pershing. Make sure you send a Christmas card to the driver of the Sherman Croc, because saved your life today. And yeah, that looks like all that she wrote. So let's just speed this up and kind of get you know, the formalities out of the way. UKPowerMax bringing on a little bit more, but he's got nothing that can deal with. This Croc alone can kind of run the table. So valiant effort, but holy shit, not gonna do anything against this beast Croc. And that's the game. Not a bad little game. I think this one probably came down to company build, not necessarily major mistakes, I think, from anyone. I just think at the end of the day, the Allies had a good mix of harassment units, map control units, you know, frontline infantry and support weapons, and it felt like the Axis just were always running specialized units, you know, from all 3 members of the team, instead of, you know, taking turns bringing on the fun, cool things that can kill a lot but can't really hold ground that well. And I think that's probably what undid them here. I thought it was neat that Stormtrout had a company heavily focused on mines and tank traps and bunkers. And maybe if Icki had been running kind of a more traditional company, that could have been really, really cool, and worked really well. Or maybe if UKPowerMax had a more traditional company, but 4 snipers, a KT, a Neuville, all of the support vehicles that Icki was running, that doesn't leave you a whole lot of support weapons and infantry, and I think that's kind of what turned things in the Allies' favor. Especially when you have a KT. KT needs a lot of support to reach its full potential, and while it got a ton of kills, I think it got a lot less kills than it could have if, UKPowerMax's teammates had more supporting infantry and indirect and whatnot to get rid of ATGs. But all in all, interesting game. Looks like it was really close. Definitely a good one. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you at the next Shoutcast. And might do one a little bit later this week. We'll see. But until then, thanks for watching.